How did we get to the point where women are expected to look like stick figures? This is something that's been bugging me for a while, but I've been thinking about it particularly over the last couple of days. Because I was walking through the mall a couple days ago, and there was one of those, life-sized stand-up ad posters outside of a store I was passing by. And it was a pretty young woman on the poster, so it drew my attention for a moment as I was walking by. And I happened to look down as I was passing, though, just glance down like this, and I stopped and had to step back, literally take a step back and look like this, as I saw her legs poking out front of the skirt. And I remember thinking to myself, if that woman was actually standing in front of me, I probably could go like that around her legs. And that scared me. Because I remember looking at that and thinking, now this is why women think that they've got to lose weight. Even women that aren't fat need to think they need to lose weight because they think this is what you're supposed to look like. I'm sorry, but you're not supposed to look like that. Legs are not supposed to look like sticks. And most models' legs look like sticks. That's the reason that I don't really pay much attention to models. I don't really find them attractive for the most part. And because, again, the body is supposed to have some fat on it. What men men see is the beautiful feminine figure, the curve of the hips that men like so much, and including myself. That is created by the layer of fat on the body. You lose too much weight, and that curve goes away. Most of those models I've seen on fashion television when I'm flipping through or in magazines don't have much curve in their hips. And of course they don't. They don't have enough fat to have enough curve in their hips, and it's supposed to be there. A woman of 5'8" has the average healthy weight is probably around 140 to 150 pounds, or even 160. And there are women out there that are 160 is a bit on the upper end of the healthy weight range for somebody that height. But there's some women out there now that are probably listening to this. They're just cringing at the very idea of getting up to that kind of weight because they think, oh, I'll be fat, I'll be ugly. It doesn't work that way. I've known, I'm 37 years old. I've met a lot of women as I've through my life, and I've known them all different shapes and sizes. And it's been my experience that what makes a beautiful woman's figure doesn't really have that much to do with the weight. It has to do with the health of the muscle underneath. I've known women who are overweight, actually, 180, 190 pounds, that still had gorgeous figures because the muscles underneath were strong, healthy, and supporting that layer of fat in a attractive way to actually create those curves. Bigger than the average woman's curves, yes, but beautiful curves nonetheless. And yes, that is possible. But women, they're so focused on the weight. To me, the weight should not be a measure of attractiveness. It should be a measure of health. If you have a healthy weight, if your healthy weight is 150, like if you're 5'8", your healthy weight is 145, 150, then that's where it should be. You want to improve your figure, then, get out there, exercise, and increase the strength of your muscles, and that layer of fat will fall in an attractive, curvy, beautiful way. It's supposed to be there. The fat's supposed to be there. The layer of fat is an insulator, and it also is emergency nutrient storage for those times when we can't find food. It doesn't happen much in today's North American society, but occasionally, that's the way our bodies were built. And that's something, if you really want to have a good example of what the attitude women should have about their weight, go do a little research on Kate Winslet of Titanic fame. She actually, she's slightly heavier than what's considered the normal Hollywood weight that you're expected to be at for her height. But she's not unattractive. She's one of the more beautiful women out there in popular media today. And she actually had photographs. She was photographed by a magazine, and because she was bigger, they wanted to appeal to a wider audience, and they were stupid enough to think that making her look thinner would do that, so they photoshopped her to look thinner. And she sued the magazine. She's like, no, you had no right to do that. I am happy with my body image the way it is, and you had no right to do that. And I really respect that. Because not only was she standing up for her rights, but also she's one of the rare women that actually has a healthy attitude about her weight. She knows that she is beautiful the way she is. And that's something a lot of women need to learn. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound arrogant on that. It's not a matter of that. It's just from my own observations. I have had friends, female friends, all my life. Some of them genuinely actually were fat. Some were not. But all of them, whether they were or whether they weren't, thought that they were. I'm thinking back. I don't think I can think of a single woman who hasn't complained about her weight that I've known as I've gone through life. Not one, whether they have a healthy weight or not. And some of them were actually hovering on the lower end of their healthy weight range. I could tell by just looking at them, and they still thought they were fat. It's no wonder we have so many women with eating disorders, bulimia, anorexia. It's in the news a lot, and of course it is, because all these women think that they got to get down to what these models look like. I got news for you. Those models are not healthy. That is not a healthy body shape. And fashion designers, think about this. You might want to encourage those women to put a little extra weight on, a little more, not extra weight, a little more weight on. Because, your clothes would probably look better if you put them on the properly curvy frame.